All right, guys, just got in the door. We've got the Autometer LCD display. Just showed up. Part number, I think, on this one is a 6021. It wasn't supposed to ship until the 2nd. Those guys got it out quicker for me, which is really good. Even before I got it, I got to download the software, got to build my screen, select the sensors I was going to use, put all that together, and all I have to do now is enter the serial number in on the computer, upload it to a USB stick, and then I can upload it to the display. Everything should be ready to go. So officially wanted to do the unboxing of it today, kind of show y'all what came in the box. So here it is. No, I have not opened this yet. So it looks like we've got a bag here with all of our sensors. We'll go through that and I'll explain those in detail. And here's the screen. Autometer 6021. All right, guys, really nice display with a plastic cover on it. You can see across this, it has shift lights, or on the top, you can set whatever alarms you want to set up. You can set, there's lights here on the side too, and there's buttons to go through the menus. We'll go through some of that here in a little bit. So it's got one Canon plug that connects on the back, right there. There's a special name for that plug. I probably don't know it right this minute, but let's take a look at the harness real quick and then pull these sensors out and see what we got. Let's get this untied. All right. So there's the CAN bus wires here, RS232, and looks like some of the net wires. We've got an S3. Here's channels 9 through 12 on this pigtail. Channels 1 through 4 on this pigtail. And 5 through 8. Now I do know, talking with them during the setup period, some of the things that we discussed is the channels 1 through 4, that's where some of your, I guess not your standard sensors would go, not your fluid temps or your pressures, but like your pulse pickup for the alternator, the GPS, things like that, I believe go through channel 1 through 4, and then you can use the others. And they do make harnesses to add more channels to this. And whatever display you pick, and I'll get on the computer in a minute and I'll show you all that, but whatever display you pick, like you could just have a speedometer and a tach and a couple little gauges. You can pick however many amounts you want, I guess. There's about a dozen different screens on there. I picked the one that I like. It's kind of the one that they show on the screen whenever you're buying it. And you can have a bunch of things in the background running because it gives you the option to, if it gets out of a parameter, you know, a temperature setting or air pressure setting or anything that you set, you can set alarms. There's digital outputs on this that you can hook up to, like a buzzer, you know, or a light, whatever you want. And then when those things come into balance, so even if I don't put the trans temp gauge up on the screen, it's running in the background and on that channel. And if it goes above 205 or it falls below 110, then it's going to send me a message and it's going to pop up. I can actually tell it what lights to come on, how long I want that message to come up. You know, if I want it to come on for 5 or 10 seconds, then go away and keep the lights lit up, why it's in that alarm. It's just really user configurable. It's very user friendly. I mean, it probably took me maybe 20 minutes to set that dash up exactly how I wanted it. So good to them on the software. I thought it was very simple to use. I did have a question on the pulse for the alternator, and I called one of their guys, and man, they just told me, hey man, this is a sensor you need. I think I also went into the fuel sending unit, and you know, you can put your percentages from 0 to 100%, and it's actually nice. You can build your own sensor. So if it was a 33 to 240 ohm, you could put 33 at 0, 240 at 100, and it's exact on the money, you know? So it's just, there's so many variables in it that you can set up however you want, which makes it really nice. Okay, so here we just have a fluid temp sensor. You see it? just a nice little pigtail and little, looks like a 1/8 inch fluid temp. Same thing here. Another fluid temp. We've got one for the engine, one for the transmission. This is actually the GPS module. This is the ST998. It's just a little GPS antenna, and it just plugs in, and that's how it gets the speedometer and all that good stuff. Here is the expansion. So you'll need this 4-channel sensor expansion. It's a ST57002. I'll go ahead and open this one up. What that does is this will plug into that plug for like channel 1 through 4 right here. And there's your channels. So whatever channel I set it up for in the profile, if it's, you know, trans temp channel 2, that trans temp sensor is going to plug into channel 2, and that's what it's going to work on. And then you will go channels 1 through 4 right here, make that connection, and you'll be able to hook those sensors up. So here we've got a 100 PSI sensor. That's probably for the engine oil pressure. I got a 500 PSI sensor. That's for air pressure because I run about 175 on the truck that I'm installing it in. So I wanted a little bit larger range sensor. I think you can get the 0 to 100s or the up to 500s. You know, they've got all kinds of options. The other thing that I looked at when I was doing is, of course, you're going to need sensor extensions because this is what you have. It's just, I mean, it looks like maybe 4 to 6 inches on there, something like that. So they have, you can get this ST884, which is an extender harness kit. And in this kit, let's see, I've got a 7-foot, I've got a 2.3 foot, I've got another 2.3 foot, I've got a 4.6 foot, and I actually have another 4.6 foot. So these are your extensions to go to those sensors. You know, if you need more, you need less, you can buy them, and it looks like you can connect them together. So if I need to use the 7 and a 2, I can just tie those two together, which is really nice. So overall, the quality of the product looks really nice. This thing is sealed. It's made for outdoor use, which is really, really good. So here in just a second, we're going to go ahead and get the USB stick plugged in and get the profile uploaded. Just kind of show y'all real quick. I'm going to bring this around. So this is the dash panel I've made for the truck that I've got it going in. And I took the template out of the owner's manual. I just downloaded that from the website, water jetted it. And so this is basically what my dash is going to look like right here. I guess I got a small battery, just got the unit powered up right now. I come over here, and this is where you build your dash right here in this screen. So basically you're seeing all of my inputs. So you can see my channel 1 is speed, 2 is fuel level, water temp. So that's how I built them out, right? PA4, there's A5 and A6, right? And that's air pressure. So once you build all those out, you can pick the sensors. There's a lot of them up here in these little tabs. And then you can do custom sensors. There's linear, all kinds of stuff in here. And you just drag that sensor over to that channel, you name it, drag the sensor, and then there you go. Go to the next one. This is switches, which is nice. So whenever you do a parking brake, I'll put a pressure switch on that, and a high beam, left turn, right turn. You can incorporate those things. Here's your alarms. So like on the air pressure, if I get below 50 PSI, you can see what I want it to do. It tells you a message. Yes, it's going to pop the message up. LEDs, bubbles, and the marker is actually the thing around the gauge. It'll actually put a red line on the outside of the gauge. So if we want to take a look at that, we'll hit edit on that. And you can see right there all of your options. And this is where your actions are, and I think this is where you enable your inputs, which I haven't done that yet. But that's where you can put like a piezo buzzer, or, you know, to a different light or something if it's a warning. And then you go into here, you can do the configure LEDs, and you can actually see what's going to happen if I'm in an air pressure. I've got those two outside lights flashing yellow, the two top. You can put whether you want, what color you want them, whether you want them to flash, solid, clear it and start over, all those options. So it's really nice. So each one of these you can set up whatever parameter you like. And then on the pop-up, you can pick what do you want it to display, right? So if it gets below 50, I want it to say low air pressure, 50 PSI. It's going to display the message, and you can put how long you want it to display that for, or you can change it. So very customizable, even if you're running these channels in the background and you don't have a gauge on the screen. There's some recorder options here. I'm not real worried about it. This is a monster truck we're putting it on, so not anything I'm gonna need there. This thing is supposed to be very capable for doing lap times and all kinds of stuff for trucks, race cars. GPS, I'm just gonna monitor the speed. I don't have any wheel sensors or anything, so I'm gonna use the GPS to get the speedometer correct. You can set up your shift lights and your parameters, where you want them to start, where you want them to end, all that good stuff. And let's go back. To display right here. Okay, so this is where you can go in. You can build as many templates as you want. You can add a new template. So I'll show you all here. And so this is what I was talking about. There's probably half a dozen or more in here worth of displays that you can select from. You know, it just depends on what you're looking for, what you're running. Here's some street ones down here that actually have odometers, trip meters, stuff like that built in. I chose this one because it has a lot of it has the most inputs on it for me that I want to use. And so we'll hit cancel on this. We'll go back up to edit on the one that I've done. All right. So as you can see, I've got my speedometer right here, and it'll list that in a digital number. Got the TAC, which is nice. I got to rescale it to 4,000 on this one also. So instead of having like a 10,000, because you're gonna be maxed out at 2,500 RPMs on that Detroit. So it's nice to be able to scale that down. You can build the scales in these. These are like they go to 100 to 260. You can pick the 140 to 240. So you can rescale the gauges too. It just depends on what you're looking at and how low the temperatures you want. Like I said, this is the percentage on the fuel for the sending unit. And then right here's my air pressure in the bottom, and it'll give me that display number also. So anyway, it's just the display I want to run for now, which is nice. You can set up multiple ones and just change them, just depending on what you're doing. But very user-friendly, very easy. And one of the things that was nice is I noticed they even send you a USB drive to upload your deal into. So I think what we're gonna do now, I have not done this because I didn't have a serial number. So we're gonna hit upload. Okay, and then right here, it's asking me for my LC- serial. So I went to the connection manager. I just plugged into the Wi-Fi here in my house. I had to move it into my office to plug it into the Cat 5 because that's where I've got my hub. But just did that, just ran the update and uploaded it, and let's go take a look and see what it looks like. All right, so you can see right now, if you look at it, this is what we call the marker right here on the gauge. So when you're setting that marker up, you can see the low is 10. Now, if it's above 10, you're not gonna see that marker. Well, actually you do. You see the markers on all of them. You can see where I've got my high points set. It's kind of nice. The center automatically goes to the low air pressure because we don't have any air pressure, and I've got it set up on that. You would just see the yellows flashing on the outsides and at the top, but the reason you're seeing everything flashing right now is because of this low oil pressure. It's the red. Of course, diesel's a yellow. You know, if you get below 5% or 10%, I've got it tagged to tag some yellow lights. But pretty nice. Very easy to upload that. Just took a couple seconds. And anyway, we've got I'm trying to think what sensor I plugged in to 3. So you can see I squeeze that in my hand. That's the engine water temp. It's already warming back up. So looks like everything works, and it's doing well. I want to thank everybody for watching the video. Please hit the like and subscribe button in the bottom right hand corner. This has been a review on the Autometer LCD competition dash. Guys, this thing has more features than I know what to do with. It's going to be a great piece in the Texas toy. Looking forward to it. Like I said, thanks to Autometer for answering my phone calls. You always get a person when you call. They have been great. They've told me everything I needed, told me what parts I needed. It's just going to be a great piece. So thanks again. Catch you on the next review.